Hey folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another product review. Today we're going to be replacing the OEM incandescent light bulbs on my 2004 GMC Envoy. And to do that, I'm going to be using these Oxilam LED bulbs that the company sent out to me for testing. These are their 9005 and 9006 series light bulbs. So we're going to be unboxing these light bulbs. We're going to be taking a look at the specifications. I'm going to show you guys how easy these are to install. And I'm going to give you my final thoughts on these Oxilam LED light bulbs. As I mentioned, Oxilam reached out to me and sent me their 9005 and 9006 series light bulbs for review and testing. So let me show you what we get in the packaging. So I've got both sets of light bulbs here, the 9005 and the 9006. They are both packaged identically. First thing you get in the package is a pair of nice white gloves for handling the light bulbs. You get the product manual, and then you get the light bulbs themselves. Taking a look inside the package here, they come 2 per box. So when you buy the pair, you do get the high beams and the low beams. And of course, what you get in the package are 2 individual bulbs. And what you'll notice about these bulbs is there is no external driver. There's no matchbook size external box that hangs off. These are, in fact, a 1-for-1 swap to the original light bulbs, which I just happen to have one here. And if you compare the 2 side by side, they are darn near identical in terms of size and, of course, the plug connections. Now, taking a closer look at these light bulbs, these are made out of aluminum, so they will last a very long time, 50,000 hours to be exact, according to the manufacturer. They do have a built-in, what they call a turbofan. You can kind of see it there. I'll show you a closer up picture as well. But that thing spins at 12,000 RPMs to keep this thing cool. And then, of course, the plugs are a direct 1-to-1 plug, so it is a very simple plug and play. And I mentioned that these are a 1-to-1 swap for the original incandescent bulbs, and also what is 1-to-1 is the filament placement. So you can see on the right-hand side, the LED chipset is almost exactly in the same location as the incandescent filament. And I'll show you here in just a minute that produces a almost identical beam pattern. One of the comments that I've seen numerous times online is that the beam pattern from these things just blasts light all over the roadway, when in fact, when you have a 1-to-1 match like we have here, the beam pattern is almost identical and it produces a really nice light. And speaking of light, these lights are 6,500 degrees Kelvin in terms of their color temperature. Now, as far as installation, I don't think these could get any easier. As I said, these are a 1-to-1 replacement. You can see I already have the low beams installed, so we're going to go ahead and install the high beams on my headlight housing. Now, my headlight housing actually comes out of the car, so it makes the installation a little bit easier. But I imagine installation for most of your cars is going to be almost identical. To remove the headlight, simply twist the bulb and pull it out. You'll have one electrical connector to remove, and then you simply clip in the new headlight bulb and replace just as you removed it. Now, in my headlight housing, because these are a direct 1-to-1 replacement and there are no external drivers or anything like that, or they don't have the big bulky fans on the back of the bulbs themselves, I can actually use my factory dust covers to keep dust and dirt out of the headlight housing itself. So now that we've got all 4 headlight bulbs replaced, now all we have to do is just wait until it gets dark so we can really see what that light pattern and output really look like. So while we wait for it to get dark, I do want to take a second to thank Oxilam for sending out these light bulbs for me to test and review for you guys. What's really cool about these is you can buy these in the pair, meaning you get both the high beam and the low beam for your car. If you guys are interested in picking up these LED light bulbs, I will have a link down in the description below. Thanks again to Oxilam for sending these out for testing. Well, we've got nighttime and we've also got a little bit of thunder and some rain. So we're going to try and do this test as quickly as we can so we don't get rained out. What I want to do is two things actually. One is, all right, so I got distracted by the air conditioner and we got rained out. So I had to wait another night. As I was saying, what I want to do for you guys, I want to show you two things. One, I want to take a look at the beam pattern of these LED headlights. And also, I downloaded an app on my phone, so we're actually going to take a look at the output of the lights, the LED lights versus the original incandescent lights. All right, so first we're going to take a look at these LED lights, and let me step out of the way to show you guys the beam pattern. And to keep everything fair, I've got my camera set on manual, and I'm going to leave all of the controls, all of the settings the same. Hopefully the white balance doesn't get messed up a little bit, but so here's a look at the beam pattern with the LEDs. All right, now we're going to take a look at the incandescent beam pattern, and again, I have the settings all the same on my camera, so this should hopefully give you a real good sense of the light output between the incandescent and the LED bulbs. So let me just step out of the way there. Take a look at the light beam pattern, and I'll put a split screen up here so we can see what the difference looks like. And there you go. So that is the difference in the beam pattern between the incandescent and the Oxilam LED light bulbs. Now let's take a look at the light output in terms of lux for these LEDs here. And you can see I've got the app on my phone running, and right now we're showing about 334. And this is really just going to be a relative test. So to set this up, I've got my phone directly in front of the passenger headlight, about 8 feet or so away from the headlight, and I'm going to leave that there while we check out the incandescent bulbs. And just to show you that it works, I'm going to walk in front, and you can see it it goes to 0. So then we back out of the way, and it goes back up to 334. Now let's check the incandescent bulb. I actually had to readjust my camera or my phone just a little bit, because when I had it facing the other way with the rear facing camera, it was actually only reading about like 3 or 4 or 5 lux. So I did have to readjust, and I tried to get the maximum number that I could. And as you can see, we're only putting out about 34 lux. So certainly a dramatic improvement, you know, a tenfold improvement over the incandescent bulbs with the LED bulbs. Remember, we were at about 334. So again, that's really 10 times, literally, the output of light between the two style bulbs. All right, so for me, it was really cool to see that beam pattern. You know, like I said before, there was a lot of comments, or I've seen a lot of comments on various forums and things like that, where people say that, oh, if you're driving with LEDs, you're just going to blind the, you know, the oncoming traffic. And for me, what I saw in this beam pattern comparison was that there really wasn't much difference, and I could adjust the lights, you know, the headlight angles and that sort of thing. But again, from what I saw, from what you guys saw in that side-by-side comparison, the beam patterns were pretty identical. So let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about that? Now, as far as the light output, you know, for me, it really was no surprise. I was certainly expecting the LED lights to outshine the incandescent bulbs. So with that, let me go out, take the car out, let's do a test drive, and we'll get kind of a real world experience of what the LEDs look like, and we'll take a look at the low beam versus the high beams as well. Now let's take a quick look at the low beam, and now the high beam. Once again, the low beam pattern and the high beam. That lights up pretty well on down the road. All right guys, so here we are about, I don't know, a week's worth of drive time on the headlights. And I've got to say, besides the numbers, the actual driving experience of these headlights is really good. I really like it. Obviously, you saw from the numbers that the brightness is there. The beam pattern is almost identical to the original beam pattern, to the incandescent headlight bulbs. And then also, because of the ease of installation, the one-for-one swapping in and out from the OEM light bulbs, I've got to say I have really been impressed by these headlights. and I would definitely recommend these light bulbs for you. So again, thank you to Oxilam for sending these out to me for testing. I'm going to continue running these in my car. I will have a link down in the description below if you guys are interested. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.